Hello and welcome to the More Cheese, Less Whiskers podcast. My name's Dean Jackson, and today we're talking with Geoffrey Fullerton, all the way from Jamaica. And we had a very interesting conversation that really kind of started out as a marketing conversation, talking about the approach to finding people as an affiliate for a particular service, and how the model of this is really based on building and keeping a dedicated group of users for the product that he's promoting. And the idea of it being an after unit business as opposed to just the before unit of finding people who want to sign up was a really great jumping off point, because we talked about how to differentiate and how the importance of selecting a single target market, differentiating your product. If you're an affiliate of anything, this is a good model for you of thinking about how can you add value to the basic tools that people are using. So I think you are going to enjoy this conversation. It'll stimulate a lot of thought for you. So here we go.
Geoffrey Fullerton.
Dean Jackson, what a privilege to get on the call with you.
Wow, here we are.
Fantastic.
We made it.
Yeah,
well,
I know. I'm so glad to be here, bud.
I'm excited. So I'm in my favorite evil scheme hatching perch with my remarkable notebook and a bottle of water, and I'm ready to go. So
I'm same. I've got all my
talk
stuff.
about today.
Well, here is what we're going to talk about today. I want to launch a new podcast that is designed for entrepreneurs, that like online entrepreneurs predominantly.
What makes you think entrepreneurs like podcasts, Geoffrey?
Well, maybe it's from years of listening to you.
Oh, okay.
Well, really, I think the thing is like listen to you, John Lee Dumas, and just the avatars that you guys have. And I think that entrepreneurs are always busy and active. So listening to something, an audio, versus watching something is going to be more positive, right?
I agree.
And so
100%.
So in order to do that, like I'm looking at, like I have a podcast already, but it's a video podcast that I do with Facebook Lives, and then I transpose it, I guess, to an audio for a different industry, different market, right?
Okay.
And I just genuinely love the podcast thing, and I think I'm going to enjoy more so the audio podcast, because I think I'll have more resources, get to use my voice and all these other things that I think, and it'll also capture more attention, because people will be more consumption, I should say, because people will be listening to it while they're doing their laundry, while they're driving, any of those things, right?
Right on.
And the other aspect too for you to really be aware of also is that I'm starting out I'm a new affiliate. So working to become like a super affiliate for a software that hasn't been officially launched yet, but it has a solution for online entrepreneurs, a massive solution for online entrepreneurs. So what I thought is that if I create my own podcast that happens to an interview style podcast, where I'm interviewing people that are power users or the software, or they are running their business using the software, and also affiliates that are promoting it, that at least could be, at least in the start anyways, could be something great. And I wanted to really focus in on entrepreneur lifestyle. So it's like, what were the trials and tribulations, the challenges? What were the wins? What were the things that you used? And so with all that mixed up into a kind of a gumbo, that's what I'm thinking of. And I'm operating out of Jamaica. So I'm here in
you're in
Jamaica, on the
Jamaica.
North Coast.
Okay.
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. So, and I don't sound Jamaican at all, and I don't think I ever will. But I was born here and grew up in Canada, And so Canuck
okay.
like
Well,
you.
I was going to say, you sound more Canadian than Jamaican for sure.
Exactly. So, that's the whole mixture here, right? And so connected with a few people in the business, like as far as I know them, or I have some of them as mentors. And I've been listening to you and, of course, Joe for a lot of years. And now it's really a time where I feel a definite need to apply like your 8 profit activators. And hence why I reached out to you to see if I could be a guest today and we could hatch some evil schemes.
Okay, perfect. So, how long have you been in Jamaica now? Like, when did you
8
move?
years now.
Oh, so
Yeah,
you
I
lived
moved
there
back,
for 8 years. Wow.
Yeah. I moved back 8 years ago. I used to be a fine art auctioneer on luxury cruise ships. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so rare gig. And then shopping guide. So I entice people to buy diamonds, gemstones, and fine watches at the different ports of call. So I was on ships for about a decade and then decided to move back to Jamaica to really 2 purposes, really to enhance the economic standing of the people that I come in contact with and also to enhance their reputation.
Was the the shopping guide, was that, are you like an affiliate relationship with the retailer?
Until you said that, I never thought of it that way, but that is exactly correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So you would take the people there and show them how to negotiate with the locals, and meanwhile, you're getting the cut of everything that they're buying. Is that what it was?
Correct.
That's great.
Exactly.
Okay. Wow.
Great gig, hey?
It's something. But I know I've heard that I know that art situation on cruise ships is really a big revenue generator for
definitely
cruises. Yeah. Because you got a captive audience basically in a relaxed mode with looking for a memory of their vacation. That's something. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So now, what are you doing now? What's your main thing now?
What happened? Yeah. So what my main thing is now, like when I moved back here, the only company I was aware of was Sandals Resorts. It's like the couples only resort company. And so I proposed a shopping program, like what I was doing on ships. I proposed that to them. I had a chance to get in touch with some of their decision makers. And then my whole life changed when they said, you know what, I like your idea, Geoff, but can I tell you what I really need? We need somebody like you to teach our people how to sell like how you're selling us right now. And he says, could you do something like that? And I said, in my head, I said, I don't want to teach people how to sell. I just want to sell, right? But out of my mouth came, absolutely, sir, I can do something like that for you. You know? And so from there, I launched into a program that I created from reverse engineering what I did on ships called the Mindset, Mission, and Moves of Luxury Travel Professionals, otherwise known as the M3, and did a test pilot. And then basically from there, 8,000 people in 7 different countries have gone through my programs. And in hospitality as well as financial services and retail throughout the Caribbean and in North America.
So now that's things have changed, I guess, on that front. How is Jamaica faring with COVID?
Well, I think Jamaica was really like kind of a first adopter. They're doing, I think, pretty well compared to many other countries because they jumped on this thing right away. But there's still like major restrictions with a lot of things in movement. And of course, the hospitality tourism industry is basically devastated. You've got, the big companies like Sandals and like a few others that have started to open up resorts, but it's making progress, but there's still a lot to be done and things are not fully functional,
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. So how did you go from that to this affiliate relationship that you're in now, the software or whatever?
Yeah, sure. Because I was everything I was doing with my training company was all face to face, obviously, right? And then when COVID happened, really for us here in Jamaica in March, everything was destroyed pretty much for me because my company, all the contracts that I was about to even close all went sideways, right? And so I had to figure out, what am I going to do? How am I going to pivot and transition? And so I started working with another mentor of mine and start to get online. And I created a private Facebook group called Hotel Sales Institute because I just took my knowledge that I had and I said I could actually help decision makers in the tourism industry, bolster themselves and prepare themselves and share this education and knowledge and then eventually monetize it. So created that private Facebook page, built it to almost 300 people, wrote a book called Tourism Revenue Revelations, and built this group, right? But I was still faced with the fact that the tourism sector is a long play at best. It's 2 years, 3 years before really anything really profitable will be happening in there. So I figured I would start doing research on what sectors were riding a wave or cresting during this time, this COVID time. So I came up with 5 areas: healthcare, fintech, so financial technology, as well as sanitation or cleaning companies, and the internet in general, and also cybersecurity. So those are the 5 sectors that I researched and discovered. Wow, these things are rolling. People in here are not suffering necessarily if they've managed to embrace an opportunity and be able to provide something of value. And then literally about a week later, my mentor, I don't know if you know Joel Bauer. Joel calls me up. You know Joel, right? Yeah.
I do, yeah.
So Joel calls me up and says, Geoff, you need to check out this software, right? And Joel never promotes anything, especially a software in that sense, right? That adamantly. And so I was like, I got to look at this. And one thing led to the other. I looked at it, saw that it was solutions for me, but then I saw that I could actually earn income as well and help a lot more people by being an affiliate. So that's how the affiliate thing came up.
So that's great. So you're an you're early in. It's not even released yet. So you've got some. So you're laying the groundwork here. Okay. And what type of software? Like what type of things is it going to help people with? So you can.
Yeah. So it's imagine a one platform for all of your digital solutions. So everything from web page builder, sales funnel builder, email, marketing videos, webinars, live webinars, as well as recorded automated webinars. So it's about 14 or so different tools that are all built from ground up, designed to work together harmoniously. And so instead of what a lot of online entrepreneurs are dealing with, like herding cats,
right?
They have all these different softwares out there that as they start building their business, they realize the necessity of them. But then what comes along with that is the headache of trying to integrate them, the cost of them independently. And so what this company has done the company's called Groove Funnels. And what they've managed to do is they've actually built it from ground up and built it to work from one dashboard. And so it's in beta currently, and but there have been a lot of early adopters. There's 100,000 users right now, and projected to be around 1 million by the front of the new year once everything is completely built. And so in my brief experience online the last 3 years, I've used many different softwares, but then when I saw this, for me to upgrade to the full use of the suite was less than half of what I pay per year for just one of the softwares that I use, like the build my funnel.
Right. Yeah.
So it does create like quite a wide, people can go from, like, it's very simple, drag and drop, so beginners can use it, as well as intermediates, as well as even programmers, because it has that facility for more detailed programming and stuff like that also.
Gotcha. Okay. So you're looking now to take your podcast use this as a tool to build an audience to support the your affiliate efforts with this. Is that the whole thing?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. And are you so with that then their affiliate program? Are you getting a bounty or a or ongoing revenue?
Oh, great. So a bounty. Define what you mean by a bounty. I don't know what you
well,
mean.
are
by
you
that,
get so you
candy bar.
okay? Well, usually two ways that you get paid on SaaS products like that is a bounty, meaning a one-time payment for referring a new customer, or a monthly recurring affiliate fee, where you're getting a percentage of their what they pay every month.
Right. Yeah. So it is actually kind of a combination, because right now there's a special offer, a lifetime offer. So get access to the entire platform of solutions for one investment, and have access to that and whatever they develop in the future for life. So that is the opportunity right now. I don't know when you're broadcasting this, but the date today, I don't know what the date is. Is it 9th of September? Right. So at this present time, that's an offer, right? But once it is launched and it goes into a traditional subscription model, monthly subscription model. Now, in both cases, I get paid. So I'll get my percentage of commission on that opportunity. But once it goes to the subscription model, every month for life, I receive a commission, an affiliate commission every month.
Okay. Right. So now the thing that's going to help you will be a focus on a niche for it. Are you planning on targeting a specific segment, or are you planning on just that it can work for everybody kind of approach? What's your take?
Well,
how are you going to differentiate yourself from all the other affiliates doing the same thing?
Yeah, one of the things I was thinking, there's two ways I think that can be done, because of course, going from the profit activators, I know where you're asking it from too, right? Because select a single market, right? Target market. So, so then one way I was looking at it is that, I could become the king of podcasts, like utilizing podcasts to draw attention to your business as an online entrepreneur, using podcasts to develop an affiliate revenue to support your business, and utilizing the medium of podcasts. That's one angle that's on it, right? So it'd be people that would be interested in that. And then the other thing that I'm partnering with a good friend of mine, that we know that the next problem that's going to be created with this solution, that people have these great tools, but how do I step by step, move by move, apply them to my actual business and get results? And so he's already created a program, and then we're incorporating some of the things that I do, and we're creating a step-by-step, move-by-move process that anyone can come in to our group or organization, if you may, and be able to onboard themselves in their business with a plug-and-play type of system, done with you system. So those are two things that I think that we can offer. But when it comes to the niche, I don't think I've really answered your question as far as what will differentiate ourselves from them.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Like, what is the, how are you going to attract? Because if it's the tools is one thing, but that's just like the platform, right? Nobody having those things is going to, it's not going to matter because it's not on its own. It's not going to do anything for them. It's how they apply the tools, the specialized knowledge for applying the tool is going to be what's the most valuable. Because most of the people don't know what to do with the tools. That's the bigger problem. It's not that they have, none of the tools that you're describing are are hard to find. They're all, everything there, like you said, everybody's got all of these things, combining them all into one thing. I have a program called GoGoClients.com, which sounds essentially this, the same idea of combining landing pages, autoresponders, toll-free voicemail, texting, all of landing pages, all those tools in one thing, but they're not having the tools in itself isn't what's helping people get success, So it feels like if you had, you look at a specific niche and you're able to not only, provide let's call that the hardware, because that's the platform. We'll call that the hardware, but the software, meaning these landing pages, if you think about local businesses as an example, that if you had the chiropractor kit kind of thing, right, which is now, right, it's not just about the tool, it's about the system that chiropractors can use to use these tools, right, to apply to those tools. So it's like your add-on to that is what makes it really valuable. Because if any chiropractor could go get that tool from anybody else, they have to figure out what to do. If you have figured out what to do, then you've got a way to differentiate,
Exactly. Yeah, that makes total sense. Like, got the semblance of the idea as far as, providing the software. That's the know-how of utilizing the tools, right? I love your idea that you said, too, like the kits. Like, by deciding the niche, we would create a kit, which is an end-to-end solution of how you utilize these tools for that particular niche.
That's right.
Okay.
That, because otherwise, the thing is going to be the way that you're going to benefit the most in this kind of a situation is by focusing on the after unit of this, right? The after unit is the equity that you're building, the long-term relationship. Once you find a customer for that, once you find somebody who's using the tools, then the idea is to keep them, and the way to keep them is to have a direct link between their use of those tools and money going into their bank account. That's you're not in the selling the tool business. You're in the helping chiropractors. We'll use that as the example. It's a placeholder, but it could just as easily be bowling alleys or cafes or bakeries or plumbers or whatever. You're in the business of helping them get business. And it just so happens that it goes through these tools,
Absolutely, yeah, because the thing that you said about focusing on the after unit, that makes total sense, because the company, if we truly leverage what the company is already doing in their marketing, promotion, spending the money to make sure the platform works beautifully, et cetera, right? Then isn't it really like looking and saying, okay, in regards to the after unit, what is currently missing that we could provide? And to help them people stick. And the best way to stick is for them to be using the software, and it transfers into money in the bank account, as you said. Okay, that totally makes sense.
Because now, if I'm running this Facebook campaign or these ads or this. I've got my email newsletter. My funnels are all set up in there, and they're working. I'm not going to disconnect my funnels from there. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so so then if I'm looking at the after unit, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's probably, and if I'm looking at the after unit, I'm leveraging the podcast. The podcast is your mindset number 3, educate and motivate. Right?
That's exactly right.
Okay. So with that, it's definitely to do that, to educate and motivate, and then it of course makes a suggestion to go somewhere for something, right?
That's right.
The ability to appeal to the new person that's never heard of GrooveFunnels, or the person that is already a user and they want to tune in because they're inspired from the stories, etc. Right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I know that you talk about this all the time, and it's still a challenge. Is that to pick one, to pick like you're
at a time.
Like the first,
nobody ever says that.
At a time.
It's to pick one at a time. But you know, your Procter and Gamble, it does it all the time. They've got 23 individual billion-dollar brands, but they're not trying to sell you Tide and Crest at the same time. They're not trying to, you know. Right, they're each different. They're each different things. So it's possible, and the reality is, you know, this is the kind of entertainment fallacy that we have. That variety is largely for entertainment, not sustainment. And that's a really interesting concept, that variety is only to entertain you, not to sustain you. And so the fundamental thing is that in order for this business or any business to be a success, is you have to find a customer and you have to serve them in a way that benefits them such that they'll give you money for the value that you provided for them, right? If you strip away the wrapper of it, strip away the presentation of it, at the fundamental core, somebody's going to use these tools and pay whatever per month for them, right? And that is the fundamental thing. So if you've got to do that, and you're selling people one at a time, right? You're not selling groups of people. People are buying one credit card at a time, one person at a time, one micro decision at a time. So if you're going to sell 1,000 people on this, right, it'd be much easier to sell 1,000 chiropractors or one particular business on this than it is to, you know, it makes all the sense in the world. Logically think that, well, if I can make this appeal to chiropractors and plumbers and dentists and bakers and candlestick makers, it's all, I just have to get a little bit of that bigger pie. I just need a little sliver of that bigger market to get to my 1,000 because there's millions of people. And the same thing, it's all when you're selling an everything tool to anybody for anything, you're not limiting yourself in any way. You're selling, as opposed to selling a money creating machine for chiropractors to all of the chiropractors until you run out of them.
Then you go on to whatever the next would be.
That's exactly right. Or you set up the system, you set up the process, the software for it, you get it going, you figure out you're a sales architect, let's call you, right? That might be a good way to put it, that your sales architecture could be trained to other people because that's what you do. You're a trainer, right?
Yes.
for you, your highest and best use is to figure out, crack the code for that one, for one model, then figure out how to, the sales system, the messaging, the appropriate line of questioning, dialogues, offers, environment, everything that goes into convincing that particular business that this is the right tool for them by demonstrating that you've proven it as a moneymaker.
Yep.
Then have somebody come in and take over that line and now scale that to all of the chiropractors while you move into the next one. But you always want to leave a wake behind you. You don't want to just be
that makes sense.
moving your joystick all around going, hey, chiropractors, hey, dentists, hey, bakers.
Exactly.
I mean, where it feels like you've got this big open ocean to work with, it's better to focus on one, because that's really the thing. When you take out the novelty of it, a lot of really interesting things in like game theory, is the things that always, I forget who was saying this or where I saw this, but they were basically talking that we evolve as a species because we figure out the best fitness, activities, kind of things, the things that are going to advance the species, kind of thing, which they figure out the shortcuts and in simulations, in exercises and stuff to test things like this. The ones who zone in on one optimal fitness theory and just exclusively do that thing are always the winners.
They're the leaders of the pack on that. Yeah.
It's very, but it's interesting, right? Because that's part of the thing, is that as entrepreneurs, you just got to have that realization. You got to have that healthy balance of realizing that it is this constant balance between entertainment and sustainment, and that you've got to earn the entertainment portion of it by locking in the sustainment part of it.
Yeah, because a lot of people do it the opposite, particularly in this social media world, right? They're going with the entertainment to grab the attention, but they can't sustain it because they didn't have anything to build it on.
That's exactly right. You got to secure the bag, as DJ Khaled would say. It's a major key.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I love that. Okay, so then with that point of view, right? Like, I almost want to ask you this question. I'm going to ask you this question anyways, and we'll play around it. It'll probably come right back to me. But if it was you, if you had the opportunity to be an early adopter of something, it could be software or whatever, right? What process would you go through to sort, sift, and separate to selecting, especially something that has wide appeal? We'll just talk about this as a software. It has wide appeal. No matter if you're a horse trainer or you're a coach speaker, you're going to have use for these tools online, okay? So then what process would you recommend I go through to sort, sift, and separate to selecting?
So let's say that someone like me hypothetically had a system called GoGo Clients that fits all of those things, and that let's say that a guy like me then might take all of those tools and create a system called GoGoAgent.com, which is all those tools packaged with software that solves the 5 biggest problems or opportunities for real estate agents. So I would take those tools and use those tools to say, how do we get listings? And how do we multiply our listings? And how do we get referrals using these tools? And how do we convert leads using these tools? And how do we find buyers? And then I would package all that up in a movement around something that I call the listing agent lifestyle, to use tools and technology to create those things that they really want. Because real estate agents, this has been my, my passion for 30 years now. So I started out as a real estate. Everything the path that I started on with marketing was really to grow my real estate business, which led to growing a big real estate coaching business, which led to knowing how to grow a business that does any kind of coaching, which led to, Joe Polish doing exactly the same thing I was doing for real estate agents, doing for carpet cleaners, which led us to the place 20 years after we started to now be in a situation to reflect, because we'd already both, built big businesses and had big success that way. When we started the I Love Marketing podcast in 2010, 2011, it was really about just reflecting on all the things we learned after a 20-year career of doing what we did, and that created its own, took on a life of its own to get us to where we are now, even, But the thing is that it was all steeped in the focus on a 20-year focus on one niche,
Wow. Yeah.
And so that's what, that's the thing, is thinking about, like, when you look at these big five here, right? The five sectors that you mentioned that are not hurting at all. So how do you take a sanitation company that is, in that world now? How do you take these tools, identify the entrepreneurial opportunities in these things, and identify, how to best use? Nobody wants tools for tools' sake. Doesn't matter.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. And because everybody's already got all of these things, so a lot of them, and so why would they switch unless you make the switching incidental? The tools should be working in background to just be a way to deploy the software that you've figured out. That's the most valuable thing.
Totally makes sense. Yeah.
Right. So that, rather than just trying to make something for everything, just a something for everything podcast, something for everybody, is, think about it as a specific niche, one at a time,
Exactly. So it's interesting that you said, though, that, like, look at the five, and would be smart to select something from the five, because those ones are doing well.
Right.
So
but when you take sanitation, when you went down there, what was, what kind of businesses were in this sanitation field that you're talking about?
Oh, yeah. So it ranges from manufacturing cleaning supplies, right, to sanitizing hotels, like going into hotels and sanitizing, cleaning hotels so that they're quote unquote COVID approved, if you may. Right. So, and then there's another one where it was a company that had a patented formula for using natural products to clean. So there was natural products that were doing the sanitizing to be used for sanitization. So there's a wide variety of different sectors, I guess you could say, that or ways that they contributed to the sanitization market.
And so you look at, you want to have something where there's a lot of them rather than something where there's a few of them. Like there may only be a few manufacturers of cleaning supplies. There's not going to be there's not going to be 1 million of those or 100,000 of those. There may not even be 1,000 of those, right? You want to look for, but the service businesses sanitizing hotels, there's going to be thousands of those.
Yeah.
Right. And sanitizing not just hotels, but schools or dental offices, doctor offices, there's any number of, when you look at those cleaning or sanitizing companies, there's lots of opportunity there. If you can show them how to if you solve their biggest problems, right, which are how do we get the word out? How do we get new business? If you've figured out a way to do that, and it happens to use your tools, everybody wins, right?
Everybody wins, right? So then what I'm going to do then in regards to that is I just got to look and say, okay, well, what area do I either have access to a successful process or know myself personally as a successful process? And then how can we find out what the problems are? And then how the tools that I have access to can help solve or even eliminate.
Yes. Yeah. Because what would they do, right? What would you do if you were that business? That's part of the thing, is that you need to be able to go ahead and go into this idea of figuring out how to solve their problems,
Yes.
Because if you can
for
solve
example,
them better than they can.
Right. So one of the ways that I have a good friend that is an expert in market research, mostly predominantly in surveying, right? And she does it for large and small companies to just tap into an association or something like that in any one of those sectors and be able to get a quality survey, like how we should be positioned, et cetera, take the tools with the problems and then do a match.
Yes. You got to, to figure it out. You got to understand, when you sell the tools to somebody, the tools on their own are really not going to be the thing. It's the sheet music. If you're thinking about it, you could sell them the instruments, but they need the sheet music to play songs.
Yeah.
And that's part of the thing, right? They want to play the make me get me a customer song. And if they don't know how to do it, the tool isn't going to do it for them. The tool gives them the capability to do it, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't necessarily give them the result unless they actually associate it to what their outcomes are and the solution, the solving of their particular problems.
There's an interesting distinction. I misstated that, is that it gives them the ability to do it, but it doesn't give them the capability to do it. And that's what you need to equip them with, the knowledge, the capability to do it. They've got the ability now to build a landing page, to build an email dialogue sequence, or to send a newsletter, or whatever other tools go with it. They have the ability to do that, but they don't have the capability to make it work to do what it's supposed to do. They need to know
exactly.
There's what do we do with it now?
So then, if that would be like the biggest launch point for me in regards to this too, is that first of all, deciding on that. Well, it's obviously the first mindset, isn't it? Like select a single target market now, right? And then the compelling your prospects is here again. How do you look at this, like, as far as if the after unit, as you said, is the area to really put solutions in there for the after unit? The after unit on the actual software is what you're talking about. So we would play a part as being the after unit.
No, I'm saying your business, when we're looking at your business, see, when I listen to you talk about it, the way that you're talking about it is you're and it's steeped in your background and everything, that you're talking about it as a sales organization. That's what you're thinking about, is we're going to sell this. And you're not thinking about what happens after. Your positioning, the way I visualize you saying that, is that you're out in front of this big top tent, and you're out front, and you're at the entrance, and you are barking up a storm to let people know about what the wonders that are inside the tent, and come on in, here's the price kind of thing. Yeah. But then you're not going in the tent after that. That's the way I'm describing it, right? That's the way I'm seeing it, is that your interest and your focus is on being outside the tent, getting people in the tent. And I'm saying that you need to be able to draw people into the tent, and they don't want to leave. Because what's going to happen is you're going to get them into the tent, and they're going to look around, and then there's no insight or instruction, or they don't have any idea on what to do now. They've got the ability. You've got landing page. Okay, build your landing pages. Okay, well, what do I say?
I'm going back out in front of the tent. Go ahead, do it. But
you never went in. You never went in the tent.
I never went in.
You're outside the tent, because once they're in,
great.
But you're not even looking out the back door that they're coming in, and if they don't have that way, then they're gonna churn. They'll leave, because it didn't live up to the hype. You've heard that saying things, right?
Yep, exactly.
So many businesses, that's the problem, is that the marketing is better than the experience.
So how do I shift that then? Because I totally agree with you that if I look at my current business, that's the fall off. Like, people love me when I first show up. They come in, they have a fantastic experience, right?
Yes.
And then it's the after that they're just like, so there's nothing else, or so how would I go about? Because this is you hit just on like a major point here, Dean. Like, I'm telling you, this is a game changer. This thing.
Well, that's why I asked you at the very beginning. The question I asked you was, are you getting paid a bounty or an ongoing revenue? Because if you're just getting paid a bounty, it doesn't matter to you. That totally, that would make sense as the rules of the game. That it doesn't. There's no incentive for them to stay.
Correct.
Right? And so,
but since that's not the case,
because you've got an opportunity, the real thing would be to get to a point where you build up a bunch of raving fans who stay and are successful and tell other people and grow themselves every month, So you're now you're doing everything you're doing out front, but there's somebody there minding the store and growing them, the way that they need to, in order. And the only way that help happens is when you direct your abilities to provide and create capabilities for them to get the outcomes that you know how to get. So you're saying with your skill set, right? You take one business, you take a sanitation company, a company that does, commercial cleaning, or you take a normal commercial cleaning company and you show them how to use this sanitization model as a way to differentiate their business. And now you've got a tool that is that's going to be able to be syndicated all across the world for companies that do sanitation, right? So everywhere offices are cleaned, the new thing is that cleaning isn't enough, and now it's safe. So if you're showing these cleaning companies how to position themselves as safe workplace insurance, and they're doing it through those tools, that's a win.
Yeah. Yes. So then, it's interesting because now the big question I had for you at the beginning, as far as how would you use a podcast, that's going to handle itself, because that's my regular.
Well, the podcast
hat.
is going to be, the podcast is going to be demonstrating. It's going to be about people using these same things, like if you look at, so I do the Listing Agent Lifestyle podcast, which is very similar to the More Cheese, Less Whiskers podcast, in that they're both outwardly focused serving podcasts. They're not me, coming up with stuff and doing monologues, teaching things, or, it's me serving by helping people, giving my best insight after 32 years of doing this, condensed to how that applies to their business, like that. Right. So I've been focused on the 8 profit activators for, a long time now. And I would say the first 10 years of it was unconsciously, and the last 15 years have been consciously applying the 8 profit activators. So I feel a lot of ways like that Farmers Insurance, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two. I've seen how this applies to so many different businesses,
Yeah, that totally makes sense. So then, in looking at the, so for example, like my buddy created a lead generation program that is specifically designed for products or services that are $1,000 or more. Okay. And we've proved it out. Great success. Some people like 1,000 timesing their investment in it, right? So it's proved out it works. It's just now taking that and just directing it to even more niche than that, other than just the fact that it's niched to $1,000 or more products or services. Right?
Yeah.
Would we need to niche it any more specifically than that?
Well, so how does that help give me an example of three different examples of how that's worked with products or services that are $1,000.
So sorry, give you 3. Okay, so
give me just so I get a sense of the flavor of what you're talking about.
Sure. Yeah. So this one lady, she does like health counseling, like everything from vitamins and the whole thing. And so her programs start at around $1,000.
Yeah.
And so she applied the lead generation process that my buddy created. So there's Facebook ads and then once they come through, what to do to the hook, story, offer process, et cetera.
Yes.
And,
Okay.
yeah. And so she was successful in that. Like she was, for the first time ever, starting to close people at $1,000 utilizing a lead generation process versus the other ways that she did it, speaking at different places and all that.
Yes. Okay. Give me another example.
Okay. Another example. Another example was a lady that she had really great success because she actually even taught some other people how to utilize the system. But there's a car club, and I guess they sell cars in between each other or something like this. And so she used the same process to find people that were interested in those models of cars, that created the leads, led them into the club, and then created transactions that way.
Mm-hmm.
So that was another one. So she was kind of a
unique thing. And then do one more just so I have a frame here.
Sure. Let's see if I can think of another person that shared. There's a gentleman that's a coach, so he does like kind of like spiritual coaching kind of idea, and so his programs as well. He had a program for $9.97 per month, and for this program, and so he takes people and helps them to expand their spiritual awareness and living a more spiritual life. That kind of an idea. So that's pretty niche as well too, actually.
Yeah. So when I look at those, like when you look at the thing, there's a different thing where if you sell you get a business that is a spiritual coach or whatever, there's some sense of is he serving people in a local area? Or is he serving people from anywhere?
Good question. I'm not sure. I think it's a combination of both, actually, Dean.
Okay. And the health counseling, I imagine, would be local, right? So if you look at like a chiropractor or somebody or health practitioner doing some kind of a local business like that kind of situation is the one that you would look at as if you figured out how this health practitioner could, get people in the, 10-mile zone around their office, that system could be used by health practitioners all around the country, That's what I'm talking about, that now you've got an advantage. It's not just these tools, but it's this health counseling client getting system that you're promoting, right? And that's the way that the other benefit of it is that you can get extra money by bundling your software with the hardware.
Right.
The implementation and the setting up, that now you're not just getting the affiliate commission, you're getting the affiliate commission, which is paying all of your ongoing things, but you're also you could charge 2 or 3 or 4 times what the tools cost for the insight and the help with the implementation of it,
Yeah, that totally makes sense. I can totally see that. Yeah, because the thing that they're all going to need, and if you select a niche, I just wrote down here, bundle software with hardware for a niche. That's in essence what you're doing.
Yes. And now that extra money then is now you're not just getting the affiliate commission, you're also getting money for creating a community of health practitioners that are doing whatever are doing whatever their unique thing is.
Exactly. Yeah.
You think
and
about
that leads into many of the things.
But you take a niche like acupuncture, or that's how. When you think about how many acupuncturists there are in the United States, even, or just maybe even in Jamaica, how many?
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought, to think like how big is something.
So that is definitely a qualifier. Like to as you said, like to look for how big is the niche, right? So do we have like a good selection of prospects, and then taking their problems, showing how these things solve the problems, and then putting it all together, the software and the hardware together, and then catering to that niche, and basically just really concentrating on creating a very strong after as well.
There's 18,000. There's 18,000 licensed acupuncturists in the United States.
Wow.
So when you look at that, that's what I'm saying about that. The thing is that any other thought about we could do this, or we could do this, or this would apply for them is entertainment. The disciplined execution of solving a problem for acupuncturists and not stopping till you introduce this idea to all 18,000 acupuncturists and either get a yes or a no from them. That is, if you were to put the blinders on and do that for 6 months, say, or a year, that year one is about that you're going full on into the acupuncture world, and you're going to, completely build that up so that you can then, once you've solved all the problem, it's mature, you've shown somebody else how to do it, and that business is growing itself, then you can move on to the chiropodists,
Exactly.
Right.
That is, because, to be thorough in it, there's no one that will touch you.
That's what I'm saying.
After a period of time, yeah.
That's my point. And it's easier to reach them that way. Easier. Those are visible prospects. There's 18,000.
Correct.
They're licensed. They have to be licensed. Public records. You can get their, you can find out who they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
So this is awesome. I know we're at our time too.
Time flies.
No kidding, man. Like this is what I've got from this. Like the takeaways, right? Like, man, that variety for entertainment, not sustainment. Variety. That statement is so. That's a major thing. The other thing here is that to concentrate on the after.
Yes.
Right? And the way how I can concentrate on the after, and the after of this, like get out from, like set up things so that, yes, since that might be my superpower to be out in front of the tent, right?
Yeah.
But to set up things where we've put the time and effort into creating what's inside the tent.
Well, this is the difference. Like, if I say to you, if we were to stay on the line here indefinitely, and we're just to sit here right now and not get off the phone, how long could you stay on the phone here until your business was in a little bit of trouble.
Well, actually, it maybe maybe a few hours.
No, I mean, the thing is, this is where it gets, is that how much of your monthly income, your
I see what you mean.
revenue,
I misunderstood the question. Yeah,
is coming from, coming without you being involved in it.
Oh yeah,
how much,
there's nothing that's set up well enough right now to actually sustain me that way, right?
That's the point. So is that the biggest lesson, man? If I could just get enough people to think this way, that the path to freedom is recurring revenue. If you can just wrangle yourself long enough to get up a sustaining amount of passive recurring revenue, that's going to give you all the freedom to entertain yourself and, do it again. But you're coming from a position of everything's handled, right? You're looking for what's truly the best opportunity, rather than that you have to hustle and grind to, bring in money this month to stay in the game,
Right. So this is the thing here, is that putting attention on working that, so that we have something that can be clicked into automatic, in a sense, where it's recurring revenue. Doing a membership model in
and
one aspect.
If that's not you, then you need to find someone who can do that. Find someone who wants to get to know the acupuncturists and solve their problems and figure out the marketing stuff for them. So that at least you got to have somebody in the tent to make them stay. You can still get out and push people into the tent, but as long as you've taken the initiative or the leadership to set somebody up inside the tent to make sure that the people you bring in are going to benefit and stay. That's the real. That is the
real deal. Yeah, that is so true. Wow. Okay. This is, it's interesting because what you come in, and I've noticed this with their shows anyways, is what somebody comes in with as far as what they think they're coming in for is not necessarily the thing that they leave with, It's definitely the truth for me. And the last thing you just said there is so key. It's look, there's a lot of great people out there that their area of focus is on inside of the tent, right?
Yeah.
So it is just partner up with them. Everybody, specifically the clients, are better off from that versus giving only one part of the puzzle.
That's right. That's exactly right. But you hit it on the head. You come in thinking, how do I monetize a podcast? And you go out as the world's leading authority in helping chiropodists grow their business.
Exactly. I know. Wow. But the millions of lessons in there, and I just think that this is just so amazing. I love your show, Dean, because it's so organic, right? There's just a fluidity that happens, and how people come out the other end getting it doesn't feel like a show, and it really has a great takeaway for everybody, and I think a lot for the person that's the guest, but even listening to them, the amount of IDs I've taken. So this one here, I can't wait to go over my notes on this.
Awesome.
And because since we're in the infancy, the beginning, right? This is the time to make some of these types of decisions. What's the long play? We want to be.
That's right.
We want to be the people that have a full tent operating, and people don't want to leave. And once that's organized and set, that's no big deal for me to be hosting a podcast. Because quite honestly, that's not the big deal. Really?
That's exactly right. That's it.
Dude, this is fantastic. Fantastic.
I love it.
Thank you so much.
Well, I enjoyed that. I'll look forward to staying in touch here in the updates?
I definitely will keep you updated as we move forward. And thank you very much, Dean. I so appreciate this.
Perfect, Geoffrey. Have a great day.
All right, you too. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
And there we have it. Another great episode. Thanks for listening in. If you want to continue the conversation, we'll go deeper in how the 8 profit activators can apply to your business. 2 things you can do. Right now, you can go to morecheeselesswhiskers.com and you can download a copy of the More Cheese, Less Whiskers book. And you can listen to the back episodes, of course, if you're just listening here on iTunes. Secondly, the thing that we talk about in applying all of the 8 profit activators are part of the breakthrough DNA process. And you can download a book and a scorecard and watch a video all about the 8 profit activators at breakthroughdna.com. And that's a great place to start the journey in applying this scientific approach to growing your business. That's really the way we think about Breakthrough DNA as an operating system that you can overlay on your existing business and immediately look for insights there. So that's it for this week. Have a great week, and we will be back next time with another episode of More Cheese, Less Whiskers.